So even if you only want to retain your humanity, you have to practice your dharma. But on above that, if you want to exit this samsara altogether and go back to Godhead and reawaken your now dormant but eternal Krishna consciousness, then you have to do some hard work. You have to associate with devotees that we've already described. It's the main thing that is going to impact our faith in a positive direction, in a spiritual direction. And you have to follow the practices that devotees engage in. इसलिए रूप गोस्वामी बताते हैं ना कि श्रद्धा आदौ श्रद्धा तथा sadhu sangha अथ bhajana kriyaha ityadi. It continues. These are the things that you have to do. And Baladev Vidyabhushan, in his commentary on this passage, tells us this is what produces Shastra Janya faith. Shastra Janya faith is not colored by these three modes of material nature. It is entirely pure sattva guna. If you have purely sattvic faith, that is to say, faith in the mode of transcendental goodness, then your activities will follow from that faith, because the activities always follow from faith. And so what are your activities going to be? Akarma. And if there's akarma, then you don't have to take birth again. You'll go back to Godhead. This is the beauty of the bhakti process. It's the power of bhakti process. You just have to associate properly. You have to try to follow these disciplines sincerely and watch the results. They are palpable. And you will experience a revolution in the impious lives of a world's misdirected civilization, to quote Srila Prabhupada's purport from the first canto. In your own life, your own personal viplava. So this is the idea here. That's Shastra Janya Shraddha. It is entirely transcendental from beginning to end, and it only comes from this satsanga. So don't think that you can just continue with your swabhava Shraddha. It's not going to cut it. You have to develop this, real transcendental faith, and that is eternal. Because generally devotees don't fall down. They may, in the beginning, be unstable. That's a different thing, immaturity. But generally devotees, once a person has really read Prabhupada's books sincerely, you can't pull the wool over that person's eyes unless he stops reading. Then anything can happen. So you have to keep it up. But this is the beauty and the power of bhakti. There's nothing like it. This is how we told the Pandas in Puri. This is how Prabhupada was successful, because he knew all these principles. He gave them to, Videshis who were sinful even, and they became devotees. It worked. So how can you say, nasasidhim avapnoti nasukham na param gatim, when these people are becoming so purified like this? It's obvious. We're speaking to them in Sanskrit. We're coming from Hollywood. They got more than they bargained for. But now we're expecting that the king himself told them, look, these people are raising valid points. You have to address them. He told his own pundits. So we're expecting them to come back with a vengeance. They're going to do all their homework and they're going to try their best, but nobody can defeat Prabhupada. It's just a fact, because there's no one like him. Madhvacharya did not preach outside of India. Ramanujacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu even. Nobody. But Prabhupada has done this. It's really an unprecedented thing. And, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Anyone can see. All right, maybe we should stop there. Is it clear, some of these things that we've discussed? You have some information on these first few verses of chapter 17. I advise you to go through these purports carefully. You can't skim through Prabhupada's books. We discussed this the other day. It doesn't work. You don't get much out of it that way. You have to think. What's he saying? What does it mean? Why did he say that? How do I apply this? Then you make advancement. And then you remember what you've read also. More important to read one page with highly focused concentration than to read a whole chapter and, thinking about prasadam or whatever. Yeah? Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you all very much for listening so attentively. You all please pray for me that maybe I can also attain this ultimate goal of life. And if anybody has any questions or comments, we can discuss. Yes, Prabhuji. Neil Kurtawala.
You're mentioning about the holy name giving out results, all sorts of results.
Yes, it does.
Versus like, I think in other classes where I've heard like Krishna will give to devotees what they need to grow in their spiritual journey.
If you're sincere and require something, that's always coming, because we know even from Bhagavad Gita he says that. Yoga kshemam vahami, or what is that? Tesham satati yuktanam bhajadam pritipuragam ityadi. Yeah. So, but the holy name is, you have to be really focused, and you have to be really sure and clear on what you want, and sometimes we aren't.
Is there any contradiction between these where, because holy name should not, holy name is Krishna himself. So
yes.
In one sense, holy name should not give us anything which we don't need.
Lekin Bhagavad Gita में भी कृष्ण ने कहा कि मत स्मृति ज्ञानम अपोहनम चाहिए, तो contradiction है ना. So Krishna is going to respond, he's going to reciprocate according to what we want. This is not robotics, AI. This is love. He's not going to force us. If you want to forget him, yeah, okay, no problem. That's what you want, that's what you want. So, this is the danger. That's why I say we have to know what we want. And too often we don't even know what we want. We're not even thinking that much. We just think, well, I like the halava. Or, all my friends are going, so I'm going. Holy name, Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains in his Harinam Chintamani, and elsewhere it's also explained. Holy name will create your anarthas. That's scary. That's really scary. Bhakti unmukhi anarthas are there. Anarthas that are produced from the punya that is, characteristic of bhakti. Bhakti is also punya. It's beyond punya, but it is punya. So, you'll get nice karma, and you'll get Gopal Sahasranama. Anybody heard of this? Mostly the South Indians are chanting Vishnu Sahasranama. But in Vrindavan, it's very popular. People chant Gopal Sahasranama. At the end of that stotra, which is very powerful, it says, anything you want, wealth will come, what is that? Women will come, prestige, all these things, they will all come. Unsolicited, it will come as a result of this chanting. So you have to be solid enough in your sadhya and your nishtha and your dhairya that, you're really going to stay the course when all those things start being produced, because they will be produced. I've experienced it personally. That's my experience, I could say. So you have to be so careful. Yeah, but the contradiction is not there, because Krishna is just reciprocating. And he eternally does that. Therefore, the ball is in our court always. Whatever we, initiate with him, he's going to respond like that. Sometimes when we make advancement, then he will initiate something as well. But quite often, the advanced devotees, I was reading in the Bhagavatam, when Krishna showed the universal form to Mother Yashoda in his mouth, that wasn't part of Krishna's script. He didn't write that plan or program. Yoga Maya decided to initiate that, because she's an intimate enough devotee of the Lord that she can do that. She has that adhikar. And Krishna played with it. He took it up, you see? So this is love. It's reciprocation. And we have to be steeped in that love. This is the important thing. It has to become spontaneous at a certain point. When it does, then we're good, and no force on earth can sway you when you're fixed in spontaneous love.
I had one more question.
Yeah.
Basically, we're talking about the 3 modes from the 17th chapter. I observed that the impact of Rajogun is much more when I'm at work. And
yes, I've experienced the same thing. I used to work. Same thing. Only when I was at work, in my head, I would hear some Karmi song that I hadn't heard in 40 years. Only at work. Never in the temple, never at home, never Yes, the environment. I said this already. The macrocosm is leaking into our microcosm, and it is infecting us in ways that we can't even imagine and don't perceive. This is one reason when I retired from working. This is one reason I did so, because I finally came to recognize that I'm being contaminated by this. I started to get a glimpse. But then I reasoned from that, well, how many ways am I being contaminated that I'm not yet aware of? So we have to be conscious of this. Yeah.
Also, the problem is, like, I have a lot of passion for creating impact in the world, and
Yeah, that's
how do I
youth.
contradict
That subsides when you get older, because you get jaded and you say, "Hey, Baba, this is never going to work." Yeah, it's like that. I mean, I went through the whole thing also. I know very well. I had my plans, and the thing is that if you're chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and especially if you're sincere, then, Krishna may intercede in your plans. That's why they say the deities in temples all smiling, because everybody's coming and telling Krishna, this is what I'm planning, please bless me. And you're like, okay. But we don't know what he's going to do. Yeah. And then, by the time you get old and jaded, and, that nothing impresses you anymore. Only Krishna. ठीक है? ठीक रहेगा?
I'm just waiting for myself to be jaded now.
Well, be careful. I went to Narasimhadev just when I was in the early stages of my Shani Mahadasha, and I prayed to Lord Narasimhadev, I was sick of the material life, and I said, just, pull out all the stops and do whatever you need to do to make me Krishna consciousness. And that's exactly what he did. And I suffered like anything. It's not necessarily comfortable, but, I was definitely enriched by it and made advancement through it as well. Yeah, what else do you have a question?
Oh, just a follow-up question. I have other questions as well, but following up on that, so what would you advise for
Hey,
people?
1 minute. Time is running out. Kyonki, we have to be there at 3:30. Okay, does he have time for one question, last one? ठीक है.
So what would you advise for we are working in the environment where it is Rajasic, and how can
Maximize your good association, your satsanga. I see so many people, because I visit their houses, and in the morning at 8 o'clock, they're not tuned into the Bhagavatam class. There's no reason you can't be if you don't go to work until later, right? You don't eat outside things also. Be careful, very careful about what you put into your body, because, this is in the Upanishads also. Krishna describes in chapter 3 that, don't mind Sundar. Yeah, you know the one, right? This is from Chandogya Upanishad. Ahara Shaddhau Sattva Shuddhi. We were talking about Sattva Shuddhi before. Ahara Shaddhau Sattva Shuddhi. Sattva Shuddhau Dhruva Smriti. Smriti Lampe Sarvagrantinam Vipramokshaha. By performance of yajna, one's eatables become sanctified. By eating sanctified foodstuffs, one's very existence becomes purified. By the purification of existence, finer tissues in the memory become sanctified. And when memory is sanctified, one can think of the path of liberation. And all these combined together lead to Krishna consciousness, the great necessity of present-day society, Prabhupada says. So yeah, we just have to very carefully follow the first 4 instructions in the nectar of instruction. Why is it called Upadesha Amrita? If you want to become Amrita without death, this is how you do it. Golden instructions, so valuable those instructions are, especially verses 2 and 3. But read them carefully, as we said already, and apply them in your life, seriously. You'll make rapid, profound advancement. It's a fact. That's why Rupa Goswami has given us this great advice. Okay? All right. So, sorry we have to go now. I would love to stay here and continue forever, but we have to go to another program. So, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Gaur Bhaktavrinda ki jai. Gaur Premanand.
Thank you, His Grace Mukundat Prabhu, Her Grace Sri Murti Mataji. Thank you so much. Every year, we eagerly anticipate your arrival at ISV. This is the first time we are hosting you. Thank you so much, Sundaran Prabhu and Sri Gopal Prabhu, to give us the opportunity. Your presence is electrifying and purifying, Prabhu. It's amazing how you read the scriptures, especially the Bhagavad Gita. You've read, studied, and also internalized it. And every time you come here, it etches in our heart. Thank you so much for showing how to serve Srila Prabhupada and serve our own spiritual masters. Thank you so much for your presence. Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada said in New York in 1966, 76, because there was a court case going on, they were challenging that we were going around brainwashing kids, impressionable young teenagers. I was one of them. And, Prabhupada said, just take my books into the courtroom, put them on a table, and label it Exhibit A. Anything they say, just pick up the appropriate book and quote it for them. And then they'll be defeated instantly. Prabhupada told us, you just speak, learn Bhagavad Gita, speak Bhagavad Gita, and there's no need to speak anything else. This is a fact. We have a lot of work to do, I said. Abhi hai jana padega. They can Lord Bhagavad Gita. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
We have prasadam outside. Does the